Hello and welcome to the Travel Troll. Here I am with my sidekick Mazzy. We're at a grave. Now I'm quite excited about this grave. I've always been interested in giants because I know for a fact if you watch archaeological things on YouTube, there were giants who were like 15 foot tall. It's a fact, they've found the bones. True is that?
I know.
But it's all a big conspiracy. They're trying to hide it and they're not telling everybody. Anyway, just moving on, we've come to see a giant today. Now, he's not alive, unfortunately. He's in this box. Here he is. His name is Robert Hales, aka the Norfolk Giant. Now, Robert was 7 foot 8 inches tall, which is very tall indeed. It's like me and a baby on my head, a big baby. He was 32 stone. That's like me, Mazzy, another me, and a middle, like a 7 or 8 year old boy, all mixed in, blended together and put into a big bag. That'd be about 32 stone. So he was a heavy guy. Now he comes from a long line of giants. It's all from his mother's side. His mother, I don't know if it was his auntie, his grandma or whoever, but 2 female relatives of his mother's were over 7 foot tall. For women, over 7 foot tall. And one of his ancestors, dating back to Henry VIII's time, was a warden at the Tower of London for King Henry VIII, and he was 8 foot 4 inches tall. Reputedly. There's no proof, but that's how the saying goes. So, yep, very tall family. So Robert was born here. You can call him Bob if you like. I'm sticking to Robert out of respect because I'm right next to him. I know he won't mind this. He won't mind me holding my PowerPoint next to his grave. I know he won't. He'll just be happy that I'm telling his story. He was a nice guy. I like him. Anyway, he was born right here in West Somerton. West Somerton Church is where he was baptised on the 31st of October, exactly 204 years ago, 1813. So he left school and he joined the Royal Navy. Now, he got kicked out of the Navy. Do you know why?
Why?
Have a good guess, this tall giant.
Don't know.
Because he was too tall.
Oh, really?
He couldn't fit under deck, so they couldn't accommodate him, so they had to kick him out of the Navy. He then joined like a local circus, and that's when he started to get quite famous. Now, he starred at the Great Yarmouth Pier when that opened. That was in his lifetime that it opened. He starred there. He went to Royal Ascot and met the Queen. The Queen met him and she looked him up and down. This was Queen Victoria. She looked him up and down and she turned to Albert, her other half, and said, "Albert, doesn't he remind you of George the Fourth?" I think it was. "Doesn't he remind you of George the Fourth?" So he must have been tall as well. The Queen liked him so much she gave him a gold chain and a gold watch. It's very nice. So Robert's big break came in 1849. Some Americans found him and says, "Here, Robert, would you like to come over to New York and be in our circus?" And Robert thought, well, it's going to be nice over there. I've never been to New York. And they says, "We'll give you £800. So, all right then. So Robert went over there to America and he's performing in New York, having a really good time. And he meets a woman. He meets Elizabeth, an Irish woman who was also in the circus, and she was a giant as well. She was over 8 foot tall. So can you imagine this couple? 7 foot 8, and your wife's taller than you. She's 8 foot. Now, they were married and he came back to England on his own. Something went wrong with the whole wedding. Now, there is a story that it was not a real wedding. There's a story that his wife was actually a man, and it was a big stunt just to get people to go to the circus and see them both and see the big wedding. They could put it in all the papers in New York and everyone would come and talk about the circus. It could have been a big sham and not actually a woman. In fact, there was a man who saw Robert in a gin shop in London.
A what, sorry?
A gin shop, you know, alcohol, gin.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Gin was very popular in them days.
Yeah.
So I'm in a gin shop in London, and he recognised him because he was famous,
Yeah.
and he was with a really big fat man, a huge fat man, about 8 foot tall. And Robert introduced the big fat man as his wife, who he married in America. So it sounds to me like it were a big sham, and he actually did marry a man fakely in America. As I say, he came back to England and he got remarried. So what happened to the divorce anyway of the original marriage? That's what I want to know. He came back and he married someone called something Charlotte Webb. Can't remember her first name. Is it important? I suppose it should be. Maria Webb. Maria Charlotte Webb. They got married. They lived happily ever after. They run a pub in London. No trouble. There were never any fighting in that pub, I can tell you. And then they got another pub up in Sheffield. Again, no fighting. You don't have fighting when you're 7'8" tall. No one fights in your pub. So if you're looking for a career and you're really, really tall, think about pubs. Robert also became a hero in his life. He saved lives, or a life anyway. He actually fell overboard on a boat and he was stuck out in the water apparently for 6 hours until he was rescued. I don't believe that. I don't think anyone could just survive paddling away in the water until you're rescued. I don't know about that one. But there's another one where he was dancing and entertaining people on a ship between America and England. And a boy fell overboard and Robert jumped in after him. This big 32 stone thing. That's how waves were invented. There were no waves before 1850. Robert Hales jumped in the ocean. There's been waves ever since. Anyway, he saved this little boy and he held him above water until they came and rescued them both. So he was a hero as well. Do you like him?
Yeah, he's alright.
He's alright, yeah. Done not wrong so far. So Robert unfortunately died aged 50 in 1863 in his house on Wellington Road. It's not there anymore. The only things which are left of his is there's a lantern and one of his walking sticks which you could find if you go to the Tide and Time Museum in Great Yarmouth. They're in there. Yeah, that's the end of the story of him. Can you just hold me notes, please, assistant? Thank you. So here he is, our Robert. What a man, what a man. Now, Mazzy's just says that she can't see how we can fit in there. And I can see where you're coming from. At the bottom, that's only six. I think Mazzy's right. It must have been bent in half or something. That ain't 7'8".
No.
He must be sat like that with his head up like that. Or they might have put him in fetal position, his knees up or something. I don't know. Maybe... Yeah, they'll have just squeezed him in somehow. Anyway, that's the story of Robert Hales. So just to tell you who's donated to our charity of the month, which is the Norfolk Basket Brigade. People who've donated since I last read it out. Bruce Devlin, $50. Dale and Shelley Austin, £20. Andrew Hall, £5. Fraser McBurney, $10. Catherine Gardner, £10. Graham Grant, £20. Terry from PA, I don't know if that's Pennsylvania. Could you hold that? You know, I've got an assistant, I'm holding my own notes. Just hold it so I can see it, that's it. Yeah, that works all right for me. It's brilliant, this, it's brilliant. David Hopper, £10. Brian Watt, £20. Danny Boomhead, £25. Joe Brown, £20. And Stuart Wright, £2. We've raised so far £659.94. Very, very happy with that. Trying to raise £1,500, so we've done 43% of it so far. Please do consider donating. I've had the guy from the charity get in touch with me, sent me an email the other day, just saying how grateful they are for our support. He wanted to meet me this weekend just to thank us, but I think I might be too busy, I'm not sure. You stood on someone's grave. You stood on someone's grave. She's just stood on someone's grave. I'm not cutting that out. So yeah, the very appreciative Norfolk Basket Brigade. What we're trying to do is raise some money so that some Christmas hampers can be made and given to people who are going to be without this Christmas. So please do consider donating. All links in the description. Thanks for joining on this one. Robert Hayes, my favourite person today. I've only met 2 people.
What about me?
Yeah, you're second. Bye-bye. Many thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to click like, subscribe, leave a comment and share the video. And be sure to check out my other channel, Deep Digger Dan, and my website, thetraveltroll.uk. You can also follow me on Facebook, on Twitter and on Instagram. But most importantly, please do donate to the charity which we're supporting in this county. All links to everything I've just mentioned are all in the description below. Please come back tomorrow as we continue our adventure to try and make the biggest video library of the sites of the UK. Goodbye!